Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today we're actually going to be doing 2 packs of IXO Collection's release of Build the Renault Alpine. 2 packs, that means 8 stages. No idea how long this video is going to be, but it should be fun. This video would normally not be out today, but in lieu of no live stream tonight, there is no live stream tonight because, as I said, I'm having dental work done tonight. I don't know what sort of state I'm going to be in tomorrow either, but we'll have to see. But we are going to be doing stages 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11 and 12, and I'll show you what we did previously as well. But if you want to get this for yourself, I have put the link to the IXO Collection's website down in the video description. You can get this all the way from pack 1, but without further ado, let's get cracking. So in the last stage, obviously, we created these little parts here, which I put completely in the wrong way. They actually need to go in like that, not the way I had it, like that. See, I thought they were lights, but they're not. So let me put these in the correct way now, and that corrects the error that I made in the last stage. They look like that. But we did have these parts here, so I'm just going to put them to one side, show you what else we've got. We've done one of the wheels, looking like that. We had started on the engine, lovely piece this one, which looks like that. Put that to one side. Got the steering wheel here. Worked on the dashboard, looking like that. And then finally, we got this absolutely lovely bonnet there. Excellent. So, this is pack 2 here. And the first thing we're actually going to be doing, just have a quick flick through so you can see this. Quite a big magazine this one is. Looks like we're going to be adding some more parts to the engine first off. This is going to be stage 5 that we're up to at the moment. So once those pieces are in, it's going to look just like that. But before I bring over the parts for stage 5, you will see here, we've got a lovely screw box that comes with this build. Looking like that, we've got a sticker to put over the top of it, and that's what is going to hold all the screws in there. So once I've got the sticker on, it'll look kind of like that. And here are all the parts for stage 5. So first thing I'm going to do, bring the engine over here. And in these 2 side sections here, we're going to be putting these in. Now these are just going to go in with this way round so that when they're in all the way, they overlock those holes there, which means we're going to be putting some screws into there, and they are CP screws. So one in that side. Excellent. And just one in this side too. So when they're in, they look like that. Put that to one side. We got this little section here that we're going to be putting the first pulley on. We are making the pulley from scratch. So to start with, we've got this one looking like that, which is going to go face down into that bottom hole just there. Then we've got this one, which is going on top, this way round, like a little hat. I don't know if you can see that. It's when they're black on black, it's very hard to see. And we're holding all of that together with an AEP screw from the other side. These are quite long screws. Put that in and connect these all connected together. So when that's in, it should look just like that. This is going to be going onto this side of the engine here. So it has got a couple of little lugs to help line this up. Put them in like that. And we're going to screw that in with some SM screws. Just need 2 of these into the side. So one there and just one on the other side just there. Now once that's in, make sure it's really tight. We do have 2 other parts left over, but we're not actually using them because that is all there is to do in that stage. So as you can see in stage 6 here, a lot more work that we're doing on top of the engine here. We're going to be putting all of this together, as you can see. So by the end of it, again, it's looking just like that. So this is stage 6. First bracket we're going to be putting on is just going to be going in front of what we just created in the last stage. And quite simply, holding it this way round, we've got these 2 lugs here. This is just going to go on top, just like that there. It's held in with some SP screws. So first one in there like that, and the second one just did the other side. Now along this side here we've got one of these brackets to put in, which are going to go into the two holes there first off, and then it's also going to be connected to the top of the bracket we put in first, just over this side. Now they're all held in with exactly the same screws. They are QM screws. As you can see, we just need 3 of these, one up this top section here as well, and the final one just next to the one that I started off with. Now, the next bracket, looking like that, is going to go into the 2 holes of the original plate that I put in. So it's going to go in, whoops, put it around the right way, kind of like that. So I'm going to get that in place as well. The underside here of this is just going behind that section. So that's all held in with a QM screw on the underside of this, and then on the top MP screws. We are working with some really tiny screws here, as you can see. I think actually I'm going to use my smaller screwdriver here. And there we go. So that's 1 MP screw in. Just get 1 more in. Just going in underneath it there. And I'll get this tightened up. So now that should look just like that. Going to work on the other side now. So similar to what we started with first time, we're going to be taking a bracket, and that's just going to go over this section here like that. All secured in with QM screws. This is the third one just going in here now. So now that one's in. And then lastly, exactly like we did last time, just on the other side this time, we have got this bracket here again. That's just going to go into the point just here at the top. So when that's all in, it should look just like that, and that's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 7, we've got some pipes that we're going to start putting in. I'm going to get those into place there. So again, at the end of it, it's going to look just like that. So I've got that here. We have got a cloth in here. I'm guessing that's to polish it up, or when we're working on it to lay the bonnet down and stuff. Quite a nice silky little cloth, that one. Put that to one side. Let's get everything out. Okay, so first thing we want to do, we've got this little sheath here for the pipes to thread through. So I'm going to thread those through here and on the other side here. So 2 pipes are going into 1 sheath like that. Excellent. Now on the end of these pipes, we've got these tiny brackets here. We need to push these into the end. And again, I think they're quite tight, so I don't think I'm going to have to glue these in. And that one's 2. They should go in with the thicker part of this section towards the pipe. Bring in the engine back over now. These are just going to be going into the 2 holes that we can just see on the side here. So I put 1 in here and 1 just further down. So they look just like that. We could just put all of that to one side because we're going to be creating these sections just here. I'm just going to then put these tops on, and as you can see we do have locating lugs on, so they can just go in like that, and the same on the other side, but they are held in from the bottom with AP screws. Got them here. Let's get these screwed all the way in. Now these 2 parts are held together with this little linkage here, which is just going to go into the hole at the side just here. Get that pushed in. Quite a tight fit. And then into the other side of this one over this side. And again, you don't need me to tell you about how much detail this has actually got. That looks really good. Let's get that all the way in. Now we want to make sure that these pipes are going over the top of that bracket there, not through it, over the top, because we are just going to be putting this into place now. These are just going to go into the place just on the top here. So get them in and push them as hard as they'll go so they're all the way in. 1 and 2. Whoops. Just taking the cap off there. Let me just put that back on. I haven't glued some of this stuff, as I said, but I may do later on if there's a case that they're going to fall out. Perfect. That's in, and that's all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 8, as you can see, more pipe work to go in. We're actually going to be adding to what we've just actually created last time, really building up this engine, so by the end of it, it's looking just like that. So this is stage 8 here. Making sure I don't cut those tube wires there. Bring over the engine, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be putting these cylinders just on the ends of these sections like this. So the wider end is facing up. We're going to be putting a UP screw through each one of these though to keep that into place. So check that out. That's looking absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Okay, we've just got some cases to put over the top of these. Now these are simply push-in, but you don't want to push them too hard because you don't want to deform the mesh. So take your time and get all of these in just like that. That's one. Just continue down the run. And again, when they're all in, they should look just like that. Put that to one side. Just going to create the next section now. And this is made up of these two parts here. There is a little D-shaped fitting here, so this can only go into this part one way. Just turning that round and then get them together like that. Oh, nice and tight. We've got two leads here, which one of them I need to thread on this little white collar here. So I'm going to get that all the way in and then plug these into the ends of these sections just here. So I'm pushing them all the way in, and I think I might reinforce it with a little bit of glue. Bringing up the engine, this is just going to go into the first hole that we can see at the top. Again, it's got a D-shaped pattern, so it can only go in one way. Get that all the way in. Just like that. And that's what that's looking like with the leads coming off. And that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. So then bringing over box 3, we're going to start with stage 9. And this is stage 9 here. Again, lots more leads to put in here. Loads of leads actually, looking just like this. I might have to use my wire technique of this so I can get them off in different directions. We'll see how that goes in a second. But by the end of it, it's going to look just like this here. As a matter of fact, I've taken these out, looking at those leads. They're very thin. My wire's not going to fit in it, but they have gave us some nice tweezers. These are actually plastic, so I've never used plastic tweezers before. Interesting. Okay, so let's start doing the components for this section here. So we need this section here. We're just going to be plugging in onto this end here, the end. It's again a D-shaped pattern, so it can only go in one way. Get that all the way in, like that side. Then we've got a cap. That's going into the cavity just at the top there. That sits perfectly in there. Then I want to take these ends off the sprue. So I've got my sprue cutters here. And then we're going to have to cut down our own wire here. So I need 4 centimeters. This is one solid wire, by the way. There's no hole in here. It's just a solid wire, which is good because it can bend itself around, you see. So let's get 4 of these. That's 4 centimeters. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we need one at 8 centimeters. Perfect. So just thread these onto these little points just here. I'm just going to see how they fit in there. I think they do fit in. I think they are going to need a little bit of glue actually. So I'm going to get some glue together. This is the last one. And then I'm just going to let that dry so there's a strong connection in there like that. Now all those wires are going to go into this distributor here. Now the middle hole, there's 5 holes here. The wire, that's the long wire, is going to go all the way to the back. All the rest are going to come out the side. So if I put these in and show you what they look like, it will give you an idea. And there you go. They're all in and they look just like that. So it's this end that's going to go into the engine pretty much similar to how we did the first one there. So I'm going to get this pushed in. And there we go. That's in just like that. Now the two bottom plugs that we got to come in out are going to go into these two points at the top. And these two coming out the side here are going to go into the middle one. So I'm going to get these put in and then rotate them round. It's an ingenious way of doing these, I have to say. So those four are in. This one's just going out to the side there. We are left with one more black pipe here, which is actually just going to link the bottom of this section just here to the bottom of the distributor on the other side here. So I'll get this one in. Probably would have been best to put this one in before we actually attach this one. So I'm going to get this in now by just taking it out, just so I can get this cable in. And there you go. I'm just going to hold on that screen just for a second, just so you can see exactly as that's laid out there. Just put that to one side. We're just going to create the alternator now. And to do that, we've got these two sections here, which are just going to be going together quite simply like this. Oh, it has got a D-shaped hole in here. It's going to help locate that. Put a KP screw in here to hold all those together. Excellent, that's one piece. And then we have got this little cap just to go over the top. Push that in, that hides the screw. So that's now looking like that. And we're going to put this on the engine as well. It's going to be connected with an SM screw, so I'll get one of these out ready. And that's just going to go into the two holes that we can see on this side. One of those holes is just a locating lug. So get that in like that. And then put a screw in place. That's in. Screwing that all the way down. And we have the alternator on. And that brilliant section there is all there is to do in that stage. We're now going to be creating some of the exhaust and the manifold here, getting all of this into place. So by the end, it's looking just like this. This is coming a long way in these two packs. And I've got an AP screw, because the first thing I want to do is put this into place here. This actually just goes on this side. And it's just fitting into the hole just on the side there. So AP screw for the other side to hold that in. And we've got another bracket here, which is just going to go sort of like into the hole just at the bottom. Probably best on the top camera, actually. Just here. This is going to house the dipstick. So I want to secure that in with some MM screws. Very tiny holes these are, but I've got one in using the small screwdriver. Let's get the other one in. And then I'll tighten that up. So now that's in. Then all we have to do is just put the little dipstick into the top here. Just like that. Like that. Okay. We're going to shield off. Is that the starter motor? We're going to shield that off now by putting this plate over the top there. Once again, that's held in with MM screws. And then I'm going to put the first exhaust manifold part into place. So that is just going to be going into that bracket just there. That's held in with an AP screw. So the first one to go in is going to look like this. You're going to have to sort of lay them out so you can identify what shape's going where. But I think what's probably best is to get all of these into place so I can show you exactly as how this is meant to look. Excellent. And that's all the exhausts in place, and that's all there is to do in that stage. So we're continuing on with doing pipe work by the look of it on this stage here. We're getting this all together. This looks like part of the cooling system to me. So it looks just like that. It's just a bit of a jigsaw puzzle putting this together. So what we're going to have is this one this way. We've got a pipe here which is going to be going into this end here, and it is going to be held in with a screw. So this goes in just like that there, held in with an ACP screw. So that's the first one in. The second larger one here is going to go in this way, just like that. Again, held in with an ACP screw. And then we've got this other pipe here, which is going to go into the end of the pipe coming out the first one. So this is going to go in, let me just get this lined up, just like that. Again, I think the screw of choice on this one is your ACP screw. And then in a similar fashion to what we've just done before, we're going to be putting this section just into this section here. So get that tightened up. We've got a whole heap of pipe work going on there now, which looks just like that. Now this whole section that we've just created is going to be going into the vacant part of the engine there. And it's just going to go in this way, like that. It's held in with an AM screw, which I've just got here. Put that in, make that nice and tight. Excellent. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So in the last stage, as you can see here, looks like we're doing some more work on the pulleys and the belts. Loads we've done on the engine in these last two packs, but by the end it should look just like that. So here's everything we need for the last pack. And the first pulley we're going to create looks just like this. It's these two sections here we're just putting together. It's going to be held in with an AEP screw. Let me get those out ready. And I'm going to get this one attached to the alternator. So there we go. That's the first pulley in place. The second one looks just like this. Just going to slot these two parts together. And again, an AEP screw is just going to go into that point just there. Screwed on tightly. Perfect. We've got a bracket to put on. That's going on the point just behind this one here. And then to the top of the alternator. Very hard to show you. It's probably best if I put it in first. And then you'll see how this looks afterwards. As you can see, that goes in there. Just going to put one of these plugs back in. Excellent. The last pulley we're making up comprises of a few sections here. We've got this one here. This one going over the top just here. Just slotting that in to where it goes. Like that. So it's making a little plug, then a cap going on the end. Again, there's a little notch for it to go in. Like that. And then that's held in once again with an AEP screw. Into the last hole that we've got on this side. So again, I'll get this one in. And you can see what that looks like. And there we go. That one's all the way in. Then it's a case of just putting the belts on. So I'll get them on now. So when they're all in, they should look just like that. And that is all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. You know what? I'm going to have to just have a look at the floor later just for the cap for that pipe. Because I do think I had it. But I did drop a screwdriver and it might have pinged over the workshop. I'll be on my hands and knees afterwards probably. But this looks pretty amazing, doesn't it? Excellent. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put the link down here into the video description, so you can get this all the way from pack 1. I'm laughing because I thought, you know what, I think I've managed to get through 2 packs there without naming any parts apart from the alternator and perhaps a starter motor and some pipes and a manifold. So anything that I haven't answered or I've called a name, then please feel free to put them in the comment, because you know me, I'm going to take a wild guess at things, and most of the time I'm wrong, but who knows. Anyway, I really do hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.